welcome everyone to Stafford Speedway. It is week 3 of the 2024 season, featuring a couple SK Light modified features, the resumption on lap 8 from opening day, and a full 20-lap feature at the end of the night. We're going to start the pit preview in the SK modified pits with Kyle.
And Bonza, people are still talking about the SK modified feature from a week ago. Mike Christopher Jr. came a car length short of picking up his first win of the season. Fast car the first 2 weeks. Got to be happy with it.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I feel like we always start seasons pretty decent, and then June, July rolls around, and we kind of, are fighting. But the year is totally different now that with the whole tire rule change and stuff like that. So everyone's going to be pretty much on the same playing field. So with that, it's just going to be even closer racing like we saw last week. Better racing, passes for the lead, and a lot of lead changes. So. That's what everyone can look forward to this summer.
A race like last week, are you able to enjoy it in the moment? Is it fun, or is it so tense in there that you're just focused on every move and every car around you?
You're talking about during the race, or?
I'm talking about during the race.
During the race, I don't know. If I had a heartbeat strap, I'm sure everyone would be high, right? Like it's 150 plus or whatever, but. Mentally, it's not like, dicey, like you're nervous or anything. Like, God, you can't have that happen. I don't think I get that way in a car. I don't think a lot of people do, but watching racing, and I can see where the question comes from, I feel that way. Like, you get antsy, you get nervous watching racing. But in the car, no, it's nice and cool in there, man.
Good luck tonight.
Yeah, thanks.
Mike Christopher Jr. looking for his first win of the 2024 SK Modified season here at the Stafford Speedway. Could come here tonight after that second place last week. Now let's hear from a driver that's off to a good start as well with back-to-back top 5 finishes.
2 races, 2 top 5 finishes for Andrew Mohler and the Petty Cash 85 team, 2 fifth-place finishes at that. You had a lot of excitement coming into the season. 2 races in. What's the feeling like with the team and such about the car?
Yeah, no, we're still definitely getting used to each other. Obviously, JJ, making the right adjustments on the car for sure, and just trying to get used to the team. They're trying to get used to me. I'm trying to get used to them. But 2 fifth-place finishes to start off the year is definitely not a bad place to be. Just staying consistent, obviously, is the key to having success at the end of the year. Obviously, the 81 has done it for the last 3 years in a row, right? So if we're finishing around him each and every week, then we're doing something right.
How's the car been driving? What more do you need from it?
Yeah, the car's been really good the last couple of weeks. Obviously it feels good to be back here full-time at Stafford. We were really good the first half of the race last week. Just needed to be a little bit more tight at the end of the race, the last 20 laps last week. So happy to come home with another top 5, and hopefully we can just keep clicking off races like this each and every week.
You talk about the car being tight at the end. The field seems really tight. It was nonstop battling in the pack. You were in the middle of all that. What was that like from your seat, and how tough is the competition this season from your eyes?
Yeah, it's as tough as it's always been, obviously, but it just seems like each and every year there's more and more and more guys that can win each and every week. There's a reason that they call it one of the most competitive divisions in the country. So just happy to be a part of it, happy to be running up front in it, and having a chance at taking a win each and every week is a good feeling. So we have a good car, good team, good spotter, and good guys behind us, and good support, all throughout. So just looking forward to a good year. It's definitely a lot of fun. I know you guys have been talking about how good of a race that was last week, and it's pretty insane to watch it through the windshield too and be a part of it. So hopefully we can just keep having races like that all throughout the year.
Now, second race back from a long, 1.5 year hiatus from full-time racing at Stafford. You say it's a new Andrew Mohler. How's the new Andrew Mohler feeling?
Yeah, feeling pretty good for sure. Just trying to be a little more aggressive. A lot of my career I've just kind of been almost described as like a Mark Martin, and don't want to be known like that. So want to be known as someone that can go out and win. And we still have I have big shoes to fill in this race car. Obviously, the guys that drove it before me were very successful. So just trying to follow in their footsteps and bring some success to the PCM 85 again.
Good luck today.
Thank you, sir.
That's Andrew Mohler. The PCM team, as he mentioned, they've always been good starting off the season. They're off to a good start in 2024 with 2 fifth-place finishes. Let's see if they can get a podium or maybe victory lane. Now let's go to the late model pits with Kyle.
Bonza able to catch up with last week's runner-up finisher in the late model division, Paul Verio, inching ever so close to getting back to Napa victory lane here. Car looked good last week and in the first 2 weeks. Your thoughts on the first 2 races of the season?
Well, first 2 races of the season, the first one I got to throw away because the incident happened. The second one was a good race, The car was tight, track was cold. We found a piece of steel inside the right rear tire, making it go low, so I was losing the stagger, so that's why she was tight. So this week, you know, we just double-checked everything, and we're bringing back the piece that we had last week. There's no reason to change it, so that's what we're coming back with.
A lot of people are pinning you as the next new winner here in the late models. What would it mean for you to get back to Napa Victory Lane after, what, 20-plus years here?
That's going to be 22 years, yeah. Well, actually 21, because my son's going to be 21, so. Yeah, I mean, Napa Victory Lane would be a success, especially for me, my team, you know, my budget. I don't have a big budget. You know, we do everything out of our pocket here. I got guys that donate a couple dollars here and there to put the car back together if we need it, so. It'll be just, you know, the seal of the deal. Finally, you know, I showed what I could do. And then I got to look at the championship, you know. That's really what I'm looking for. Good finishes, good races, definitely championship. That's top 3 championship standings. I would be very happy.
We talk about, and we just heard from a couple of drivers, talk about how difficult the SK Modifieds are here at Stafford. How competitive is this late model class?
I can pick out of a shoestring of how many different cars that could win that race. I mean, we're all fast. Anybody can win. It's just the right placement, the right time, the right cards that are dealt.
Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Last week's runner-up finisher, Paul Verio, looking at that first late model win here later on this evening. Now let's go to the SK Light Modified pits and talk to one of the division's veterans with Bonza.
Kyle, one of the drivers that's off to a quietly solid start in the SK Light Modifieds is Chris Matthews. He finished 5th last week. You got the resumption feature today, and you'll be restarting that race in 6th. So how do you approach the first feature? Because it's 12 laps. It's been a long time since there's been really double features at Stafford on a Friday night. So how does the approach change for you, if at all?
I mean, you go out there and just run the race, try to stay out of trouble, and you do what you can do and take what it gives you, and hopefully you're there for the second one.
So how do you feel about the car after last week?
Last week the car was rolling pretty good. We made a couple adjustments for it, and we're hoping it's a little bit better, and we'll see how it happens.
Track condition-wise, how is it out there with the SK Lights? How much can you run the outside? Is it going to get better, do you think? What's it like out there?
The outside's still pretty good. I think it'll get better as the season goes on, and I think everyone's going to be wanting to go out there to a point.
Now, do you have to take it a little bit easier also because the 40-lappers next week? Is that a thing that you think ahead for, or is it just all about tonight?
Honestly, I didn't even know the 40-lapper was next week, so you know, we're just gonna play it out, whatever it gives us, and just roll with it.
You know Tyler Chapman's going after your all-time win record, right?
Oh, absolutely. That's fine. You know what I mean? It's all good competition. You know, he's got it going on right now, so you know it should be pretty fun.
Have fun tonight.
Thank you.
That's Chris Matthews looking for SK Light Modified win number 21 to extend his mark as the winningest driver in the SK Light Modifieds. From one of the veterans to one of the newer drivers at the track, Kyle standing by with a limited late model sophomore.
And Bonza, that second-year driver is Matthew Winter, the second here in the limited late model division. Off to a great start. 2 top 6 finishes for you in the first 2 races. How would you sum up the first couple weeks of the season?
Way better than last year. We're not in the wall yet, that's for sure. I feel like we did good. Definitely the first race last week, we learned what not to do in the feature, and we'll definitely not implement those skills in the feature. We'll see how today goes.
We're seeing you more in the top 5, in the top 10 the last couple of weeks. How much more comfortable are you in this car, in this division? Because you got to be getting more comfortable while running with those guys in the top 5 every week.
Oh, it's definitely a lot better to run with those guys. I feel like there's a lot more clean racing up front. It also helps when you have 8 cylinders underneath you instead of 7. That'll keep you up front. But I feel like I'm getting more comfortable week by week. I just got to get a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more consistent. I think we can be in the top 3.
Always learning behind the wheel of these cars. What are you hoping to take away from tonight and going forward? What's left?
A podium would be awesome, but continuing in the top 5s, that's what gets you championships and all that. But we'll continue to move forward and try to get the top 5s and maybe top 3, maybe a win. We'll see what happens.
Best of luck to you here later tonight.
Thank you.
It's one of the new faces and names here in the limited late model division at the Stafford Motor Speedway. Matthew Winter looking for that first podium here later this evening. Now let's hear from a street stock driver that captured his first podium 1 week ago.
To say last week or the last 2 weeks have been a whirlwind for Jeff Asen is quite an understatement. You had ignition problems opening weekend. It came back last week. Can you even explain to me and to everyone what those weeks are like for you, trying to figure out what the problem was, and how did you figure it out?
It was very frustrating because it was intermittent. It would be there, then it wasn't, and we thought we had it fixed up. We loaded the car up. It started when we loaded it. We get here, and then it doesn't start, and it was frustrating. That's the only word I can say is frustrating. But when you get here, there's so many people willing to help you out. You know, I had Adrian Paradis over here, Rich Hannon over here helping us, and you know, without these guys, we probably would have had to go home because we actually didn't figure it out. I mean, we ended up just putting a brand new distributor in the car, and it worked.
And then you end up with a third place finish, your first career podium. What does that say for you, the team, the people in the pits? What does that explain to you in terms of how you're able to overcome all that and still get your first podium?
Yeah, I mean, just like the old saying, just never give up. I mean, we worked on the car all day long, and even in the race, you know, I mean, we were comfortably in 5th place in that, and I was happy with that. And then you just keep running right till the end, and you know, everyone knows what happened in the last lap, and we came out 3rd, so I'll take it. But you know, like I says, without you know, the help of my son and everybody else here, we probably would have had to load the car up and go home. So when they say racing, it gives you the highest of highs and lowest of lows. It's not even exaggerating.
Now it's a matter of keeping those highs up. That being said, what did you learn from last week, and what more do you need with this car to compete up in the podium back-to-back weeks and beyond?
We're still trying to figure out how to keep the car really consistent. My son made the call last week to do a couple minor adjustments on the car, and it really worked. I mean, the car, it just got better as the feature went on. So we keep really good notes, and we'll see if we can put those to you know, set up tonight and see if it works. But we'll keep plugging away.
So you're saying that young Connor over here is the smart brains in the group?
That night. That night, yeah. Like says, I mean, we were actually buckling into the car to go out for the feature, and he recommended we make a couple changes, and we did, and I think it only helped.
Well, Jeff, good luck to you tonight, and let's see if you can get back-to-back podiums.
Thanks, we appreciate it. We're going to try.
That's Jeff Asen, the 17, looking for another good run and an uneventful run at that in the street stock feature. It's time to go racing. It's week 3 of 2024, and Ben Dodge is on the call.
We certainly are, and what a great night for racing here at the Half Mile. We want to welcome each and every one of you. Welcome to the show. Backstage here at the Stafford Motor Speedway is a banner field of cars assembled. Great field for the SK Modifieds. Last week, an incredible run for them. Among the quickest cars in practice today, Michael Christopher, Andrew Mohler, Todd Owen, and the list continues to go on. But that's not the only stories. We've got, well, the remainder of the SK Light event from the past, and we'll go into the future with, of course, another round of feature competition. There'll be no qualifying rounds for the SK Light division, and in just a few short moments, we'll be sending them out for the first of our qualifying events for the Street Stock division. Now, if you're just joining us for this evening's presentation, we want to remind you that plenty of great food available on the Midway as well, directly beneath Broadcast Central. Of course, you can smell those delicious sausages, peppers, and onions, and a whole lot more. Besides all of that, the Double Hook Bar is available with seating available if you'd like to watch over the racing action and enjoy an adult beverage from that location coming off turn number 4. And, of course, the Novelty Booth has all your favorite items available, including those trading cards. And last week, Kyle, Ricky, and myself, we had fans waiting for us to sign those.
We did. The trading cards, a pretty cool addition to the Speedway the last couple of years, and the 2024 sets was released just a couple of weeks prior to the season and are available down on the Midway. And you're right, Ben, a busy night, a great day to go racing here for our second consecutive Friday night. And like last week, we're still making up from Mother Nature back on Napa Spring Sizzler weekend. We were not quite to the halfway mark of the SK Light Modified event on that Sunday when the rains came, and we'll run the final 12 laps of that feature tonight. That will be our first feature of the evening. And then, of course, the SK Lights will be back for their normally scheduled 40-lap feature later in the race program.
You know, tonight's a picture-perfect night for racing here at the Half Mile. And again, as we said before, we welcome each and every one of you. Remember, not too late to text, tweet, send a message out to anyone that you'd like to invite to come to the races for this evening's presentation, as we've got a lot in store for tonight's race program. And it'll all begin with the street stock qualifying heats, followed by the limited late models, the SK Modifieds. Then we'll move on for the main event, the SK Light Feature event, as it will be resumed on lap number 8 of that event. And of course, after that, it's just the rest of the features for tonight, which will include the following: street stocks, the limited late models, the SK Modifieds, and the second SK Light Feature event will conclude this evening's program.
So many storylines. Last week, Ben, most everybody, I think, made it back to the racetrack.
I agree.
From a couple of those big hits over in Turn 3, especially in the late model field. I know Adam Gray has been busy the last week getting the engine repaired on that car, or probably a new motor over in that 97 camp after losing it in practice last week, and, of course, had that big crash on opening race weekend.
Yes.
And so he's good to go. So it's a lot of storylines last week. It's been a busy week on the internet, and hopefully a little bit more tame tonight. But some amazing racing, nevertheless, some of the best in the country.
And in addition to that, we've got a competitor who was a seasoned veteran here at the race facility, Frank Rocco, coming back to the competition for tonight's visit. We were so happy to see him, and he's pumped up and ready to go. Says, you know, it's just something about racing here at Stafford. You can't get it out of your veins, and tonight he's going to be back. And, of course, once you get the itch, let's hope he'll be back as a regular here at the Speedway. Last week, of course, we saw some brand new winners to be added to the list of winners in the competition, and some individuals that are moving up through the ranks and looking very, very strong. You saw in the pre-race video, Michael Christopher, who was so strong a week ago, and, of course, other competitors like Marcello Rafano. Marcello was running very strong for a while, and then all of a sudden had his share of hardships. But right now, our attention shifts to turn number 3 as the first of the qualifying events come rumbling onto the racetrack. Round number 1 in the street stock division, it'll be car number 94. It'll be a Renter Race Cars machine from Goshen, Connecticut for Chris Danielchuk.
Outside of the front row, car number 15 from Ware, Massachusetts, the Rose Brothers Garage entry for Sean Petlock.
Row number 2 to the inside, the 84, that's the American Sign Machine from Ellington, Connecticut for Bert Ouellette.
Car number 7, podium finisher from a week ago, will go from 4th from Granby, Massachusetts. Car number 7, the Safeco Foam Dryer Vent Cleaning Company car for Jeff Aslan.
3 rows back, car number 21, the Tri-State Equipment Repair car from Somers, Connecticut for Jason Lafayette.
6 starter, car number 75 from Danielson, Connecticut, former champion Ryan Waterman.
7 starting spot, car number 37, the Maine Moose Charlie's Towing Company car from Columbia, Connecticut. It is David Masha Sr.
Car number 2 will go next from Griswold, Connecticut, the Planchen Management Solution sponsored car for Ashton Young.
Making up the final row to the inside, starting position number 9, car number 69. That'll be the Roy's Auto Service Vanish Valley Brewing car from Belchertown, Mass. It is Bill Cody.
And rounding out the 10-car field, car number 26, from Blueport, New York, the Prime Molding Technologies car for Colin Volpe.
The distance will be 5 laps. The number of cars to be transferred in the handicap system will be 6. Field is set. Lights are off, provided by Wheelan Engineering. First names in lights and sirens and safety services used throughout the world. Watch for the pace car to dive to the inside as they go into the starter's box off turn number 4, or just at the edge of turn number 4. Mike looks the field over with a snap of the wrist. We should be kicking things off for another round of competition, Stafford style. Here they come, back to the line.
Green flag is up. We are underway. Chris Danielchuk gets the jump into turn 1. The 15 does not come up the speed and will fade through the field as they race into turn 1 for the first time. That is Sean Petlock. Falls into line just outside of the top 5 as Bert Ouellette comes to life in turn 3, challenging for the lead.
Bert Ouellette tested the waters a bit in that second spot. Side-by-side bid, 21 of Jason Lafayette. Gray car to the inside, but right behind him is one of the fiercest competitors in this division. working his way through the field. There's no question about it. Car number 75 is on the move, and that, of course, is Ryan Waterman. Back up front, bid for the lead, trying to shake him off as they work their magic back to the line.
Daniel Chuck maintains the top spot. Willett will settle in the line in second. Jason Lafayette third. Ryan Waterman right there in fourth, along with Jeff Asen rounding out the front five. Challenge from second on back. Got tight off of turn number 2, but everybody's okay. Led by that green and black number 84 of Burt Willett, coming to 2 laps to go.
They come off the turn. Here comes Waterman. Black car to the inside. Pulls up, makes the crossover. Trying to follow him through is Jeff Asen with car number 7. He does. That bounces the 21 back a spot, and that, of course, will change the complexion of the event. Now Waterman makes a bid to the inside. 3 cars under a blanket. White flag is out. 1 lap to go.
Waterman looks to the inside of Willett, take that second spot away, and now maybe he'll look for the race lead on Chris Danielchuk going back to turn 1, who slams the inside lane, and that door shut by the time they get to the corner. Doesn't slow Waterman a bit. Off of turn number 2, drag race up the backstretch for the final time.
No question about it. Waterman works his magic. Black car to the inside like a bad guy with a black hat on a cowboy in an old movie. He will take down the victory. Second place, too close to call. We look at timing and scoring, and Jeff Asen, car number 7, will finish in the runner-up spot. Chris Danielchuk will finish in the 3rd position. Bertolet back to position number 4. And Jason Lafayette will finish in 5.
Bill Cody finished in the 6th spot. Then it's Sean Petlock, David Mesha Sr., Ashton Young, and Colin Volpe rounding out the 10-car field. And heat race number 1 for the street stocks. The 2nd will roll out onto the racetrack here in just a moment.
Sure will, and as they're about ready to come onto the racetrack, want to remind you, if you haven't already done so, to make sure that you check out our novelty booth in turn number 4, because it's got all the latest imprinted items and some T-shirts, hats of your favorite drivers as well. Here's round number 2, car number 13, Matt Martell out of Stafford Springs. The Charlie's Towing Company car will start to the inside of the front row.
Outside of the front row, car number 71 from Stamford, Connecticut, the Rico's Pizza, LaJoy's Auto Wrecking car for Marvin Minkler.
Inside row number 2, the Barn Package Store Machine from Somers, Connecticut, Jason Raymond, car 49.
4th starter, car number 80 from East Hartford, Connecticut, the JHS Race Restoration entry for Tyler Trott.
3 rows back, keep your eyes on this guy. He's one of the big guns. The Hydar Construction Company, number 11. Fred Hydar owns the car from Woodbury, Connecticut, Travis Hydar.
6th starter, car number 42 from Barkhamsted, Connecticut, the PJ Ladola and Sons Electrical Contractors car for last week's winner, Travis Downey.
4 rows back to the inside, it's the Tech Roofing SK Property Management Company. From Chicopee, Massachusetts, it's Brandon Warren, car 55.
8th starter, car number 51 from Enfield, Connecticut, the Jet Electric car for Garrett Pease.
And in the final row, in the 9th starting position, car number 6. It'll be the Vidane TV car, the Rental Race Car Machine from Shrewsbury, Mass., Kevin Vincent.
And rounding out the 10 starters, car number 66 from Massachusetts, the Pro Coat Painting entry for Nick Lockhart.
This is the 2nd qualifying round in this evening's program. We remind you we'd also like to welcome in our VIP suite tonight the members of the Tie Rod Auto Club that present the spring and fall Tie Rod's All Automotive Swap Meet and Flea Market here at the Half Mile. We welcome each and every one of them. We remind you the fall event will be on October 13th. Coming up, it seems like far away, but it's just around the corner. Here they come off turn number 4. Mike stares them down, and the green flag is out. And it's a dead heat at the stripe. But as they work their magic, Martell tries to dig in hard. But all of a sudden in the upper groove, Marvin Minkler, truly one of the nice guys.
So trouble back straight away. One car goes around, and it appears to be the 6 of Kevin Vincent. Tries to get that car righted, and we'll continue under the green flag as Minkler leads lap number 1. Travis Downey coming to life in the outside lane, car 42, up to the 3rd spot.
There's no question about it. Minkler's got a good lead, but all of a sudden when you see Travis Downey coming through traffic, and behind him is the number 11 of Travis Haidar. The two Travises working their magic in the third and fourth position. Behind them, a side-by-side battle. Working his magic in the outside is Jason Raymond with the number 49 car. Matt Martell bumped back one position. Back up front, 4 cars in single file, but not for long. Kyle, here's the bid for the lead.
Here's the bid for the top spot. Tyler Trott closing in on the race leader as they come off of turn 4. It's Marvin Minkler at the line by a car length. Trott getting the shove to the inside, has the slower car in front. Both of the leaders will squeeze to the outside. Trott goes to the point. Downey up to second. Here comes Haidar to look for that third spot on Marvin Minkler.
Haidar makes it look so easy. He moves in, takes over the third spot. Once he's there, he reels in on the back bumper. Just in front of him, it is Downey with the number 46 car, working his magic. Downey now setting in the second spot. It's all going to come down to the wire, down the back straightaway. Tyler Trott, the leader of the pack, Travis Downey, and Travis Haidar, 3 of the top-rate drivers in the street stock division. Here they come, Kyle, back to the stripe.
Down to the checkered flag. Downey steps out of line but can't make a move. Tyler Trott picks up the race win over Travis Downey in second. Travis Haidar with the fastest lap of the race there on the final circuit finishes third. Jason Raymond fourth, and Marvin Minkler rounding out the top 5.
So the street stock division is all but history here at the half mile for qualifying. And next we move to the limited late model division. There'll be 2 qualifying rounds, 8 laps of distance, 6 cars to transfer among the handicapped spots. And in the first group coming out, it'll be car number 83 for R.J. Serdell out of Willington, Connecticut, the Rob Russell chassis machine.
Outside of the front row, a former champion of this division, car number 28 from Tolland, Connecticut, the Wheelers Auto Parts Napa-sponsored car for Rich Hammond.
Row number 2 to the inside, one of the prettiest cars in this division is the CSB Communications car. Car number 19 from Plainville, Connecticut. It goes as good as it looks. It is Adrian Paradis III.
3-time and defending champion will go fourth. Car number 6 from Windsor Locks, Connecticut, the Rosati's entry for Jeremy Lavoie.
Let's go back 3 rows to the inside, the Mertz Racing Enterprises. Scotty's number 82 car, the Scotty Nordman car from Pasco, Rhode Island, Samantha Dell.
6-starter, car number 9 from Canton, Connecticut, the RE Spray Foam entry for Connor Jensick.
In the 7th starting position, Daddy-O's Honey car from Northford, Connecticut, Dana Ray, car 42.
8th starter, car number 18 from Weathersfield, Connecticut, the Utility Services New England entry for Scott Clement.
And picking up at the rear of the field, the DMW Graphics car from Durham, Connecticut, it is Shelby Swan, car number 44. That is your starting lineup. Again, 6-8 laps is the distance. Remember, 6 needs to be in the preferred starting spots of the main event of competition.
We'll go green next time by. Dave Barabal patrolling the pit area for us, keeping us up to date if there's any breaking news or stories from the pit area before we get into feature event competition here later on this evening as the field is told to double up into their rows of 2. We'll go green next time by here in limited late model qualifying race number 1.
You know, and often we're asked from the race fans, what is the difference between a late model and a limited late model? Visually, the number one thing is the limited late models have that wing, a rear spoiler on the back of the race cars. The regular late models do not have this type of a spoiler. That's the easiest way to make the transition to understand which division is on the racetrack. Here they come off turn number 4. R.J. Serdell has been a big contender last season, and outside of him is Rich Hammond. Hammond had a great run going a week ago, and then mechanical problems forced him out, but here comes Adrian Paradis to the inside. Lavoie is behind him, the multiple champion. Paradis moves into second. He's working his magic coming off the turn, and the Dodge Challenger now setting in the runner-up spots.
Couple of in fact, the 2 most recent champions in this division, 3rd and 4th right now in Jeremy Lavoie and Rich Hammond. Samantha Dell rounding out the top 5 as she rides just in front of Scott Clement. Connor Jensick on the pit lane never even took the green flag on the speedway. So an issue with the Connor Jensic cars. They come around and complete another lap with R.J. Surdell at the front of the field.
Meanwhile, Lavoie continues to reel in on the back bumper of Paradis. Suddenly, the car slips up a bit. Here comes Rich Hammond, black and neon numeral number 28. Hammond's from the old school, still can get the job done. Lavoie is a veteran. They make a little contact, no harm, no foul, as they come back to the stripe.
8 laps the distance, 3 in the books. Battle for third is on. Here's Rich Hammond, number 28 to the inside of the red and yellow numeral number 6 for Jeremy Lavoie to take that 4th spot away. Samantha Dell about an arm's length back in position number 5, looking to reel in the front 4 as they get halfway this time. 4 down, 4 to go, and Adrian Paradise reeling in R.J. Surdell for the top spot. Caution is out as we have a car spun over in turn 2. Appears to be the Shelby Swan car that has gone around.
Yep, it goes around
44.
In turn number 2. That's going to tighten things back up, as R.J. Surdell has been pretty much the dominant car so far. Adrian Paradis in second, Jeremy Lavoie and Rich Hammond. Samantha Dell back in the 5th spot in the number 82 car. Samantha has been getting stronger every week as Scotty Nordman prepares the car for her, getting her more comfortable in the Mertz-sponsored race car, setting back in that 5th position. So 4 of 8 laps as you look at the screen. I want to remind you to please make sure that you support the advertisers who advertise with us on the backstretch. Here in the billboards, we couldn't do it without their continued support. And remember, no matter how large or small your business might be, if you'd like to put together a company night, if you'd like to sponsor an event, or you'd like to advertise with us, feel free to check things out online or give us a call during the week at the Speedway office.
Coming to 1 to go, this time by halfway through this qualifying event for the limited late models.
So the field doubles up, 2x2 formation, lights off on the safety vehicle. We remind you that each and every Friday night here at Stafford, the presentation is brought to you by your local Napa Auto Parts store. Remind you that Napa Auto Care, and of course, Get Up and Go. Napa, look for the blue, gold, and white. Welcoming you, the race fans. And remember, we certainly hope that you'll be supporting those local Napa Auto Parts stores, like our store owned by the Wheeler family in Tolland, Connecticut, and right here in Stafford.
Green flag back up, and it's Surdell with the jump. Adrian Paradise in the outside lane. Lavoie up to 3rd on Hammond in 4th, and then that blue number 82 for Samantha Dell rounding out the top 5. Race for the lead, though, still locked up nose to nose into turn 3 with Paradise getting a good run in that outside lane.
Well, on the outside lane, the challenger is trying to put up a great challenge. Surdell is still digging in the Spirit America car to the inside. They're side by side. Surdell's car slips up a bit. Here comes Lavoie. Here comes Hammond. Paradis stuck in the outside lane. It is still R.J. Surdell. This time, when they come back to the line, popsicle sticks are up. 2 laps to go, 1 mile left. Lavoie slips up the racetrack. That gives Hammond the opportunity to take over 3rd.
So that looks good here tonight. Early on, a lot of speed out of that number 83 car. It's led all the laps in this qualifying event and is able to pull away from some of the division's best at the front of the field. Drawing away by about 4 car lengths now over Rich Hammond now in the 2nd spot, who goes to the inside to take that position away. Lavoie back to 3rd for now. Here's Paradise to his inside for that position.
Paradise still right there to the bottom, now takes back the 3rd spot. Lavoie dropping back to 4. Remember, 6 is the number. And what about Samantha Dell? She has closed up the gap. She's turning some impressive laps. Checkered flag is out. R.J. Surdell will take down the win. Rich Hammond will finish in 2nd. Adrian Paradis to finish in 3rd. Jeremy Lavoie to finish in the 4th spot.
Samantha Dell rounded out the front 5. Then it was Scott Clement, Dana Ray, Shelby Swan, and Connor Jensic, who was never able to take the green flag on the racetrack before a mechanical issue forced him to pit road before the start of the event. Heat race number 2 will head out onto the racetrack here in just a moment and will include the current championship point leader in this division and also the most recent winner. So a lot of heavy names coming up here in heat race number 2.
Certainly are. Car number 22 will be starting at the point. The GP Fence Company car from New Hartford, Connecticut. It is Gary Patnode.
To his outside on the front row, car number 74 from Springfield, Vermont, the Bears Cleaning Service car for Matthew Winter II.
Row number 2 to the inside, the Genco Construction car from Canton, Connecticut for Devin Jensick.
He was last week's winner. The current point leader will start alongside car number 59 from Wethersfield, Connecticut, the Utility Services New England car for Matt Clement.
3 rows back to the inside, starting position number 5. It'll be car number 78, the Regency Fireplace Products machine from Stafford Springs. It is Michael Hopkins.
6 starter, car number 24 from Three Rivers, Massachusetts, the Munson Pizza J.P. McCarthy entry for Kyle Terrio.
And picking up in the final row is car number 07, Trinity Provost out of Holland, Mass, driving the LeBeau rubbish removal car.
And rounding out the 8-car field, car number 5 from Wellington, Connecticut, the DKV Motorsports car for Daryl Vertifay.
I want to remind you that here at the Speedway, our safety services crew uses vehicles provided by Monaco Ford. 2 convenient locations to serve you, one in Glastonbury, Connecticut, and the other in Niantic, Connecticut. Remember, tell them you heard about it here at the Speedway. Mike and his staff will be more than glad to give you a great deal on your next new or used vehicle.
Field coming off of turn number 4 should get the 1-to-go signal this time by, and they will, with Patnode and Jensick now on the front row. Clement, Hopkins, Terrio, the top 5. Daryl Vertifay hanging back just a bit. Still having a tough time finding the handle on that car in the first 2 races of the season. Brand new to not only this division and here at Stafford, but also brand new to motorsports. So working the bugs out of that green and black number 5 at the tail end of the field as everybody else is ready to go here this time by.
Well, here they come. They head to the direction of the start box, and there is the green. Good start. Patnode digging in hard on the inside. Devin Jensick working his magic in the upper lane. Remember, a week ago he was the big dog. All of a sudden his car slips up. Michael Hopkins suffers the disadvantage there. Matt Clement, with the skill of a surgeon, moves in, takes over second, Kyle, and Clement is on a roll tonight.
Up to the second spot. Hopkins now to the inside of Jensick for third. Move Hopkins into that position. Jensick back to 4th, just in front of Matthew Winter, who's coming off a couple of good runs in his second season here at the racetrack. Heard from him in our pre-race show just a little bit ago, as the top 5 still tightly bunched in a race for the lead off of turn 4 down to the line.
Clement makes a bid for it. Patnode tries to hold on to his line, but Clement sees daylight to the bottom. Off the turn, Patnode's car has a stutter step. Brand new leader emerges, Gary Patnode. Right there with him, it is Mike Hopkins. Hopkins, red and black car. Inside lane, car number 78. Michael Hopkins up to second. Then we've got a bid for the 3rd and the 4th spot.
Patnode backsliding just a bit, was in 3rd, and will lose that position to Jensick. Matt Winter will go by for 4th. Patnode gets that 22 car back in the line in 5th, just a couple of car lengths in front of Kyle Terrio, who runs in 6th, halfway home. 4 down, 4 to go, and here comes Hopkins, fastest lap of the race last time by, up to 2nd and within a car length of the race leader.
There's no question about it. He had the opportunity and put the car in. He's good on entry in turn number 3. Hopkins continues to reel him in. Off the turn, back to the line. Clement might be playing little cat and mouse there at the front of this field. Everybody settles in. We're working down to the closing laps of the event. Margin between each car pretty much the same. Fastest lap turn, Devin Jensick in the 3rd position. Here they come. 2 laps to go.
2 to go for Hollywood at the front of the field. Matt Clement shows the way, 2 car lengths over Mike Hopkins. No real change up front. Top two are driving away from Devin Jensick, who is unchallenged in third. Matt Winter and Gary Patnode rounding out the front five as they race into turn 3, and things tighten up on your screen at the front of the field. Hopkins closing in on Matt Clement, coming to the white flag.
Final circuit, they head down to the turn number 1. Matt Clement showing his winning style. Meanwhile, Hopkins glued to the back bumper. Clement steps on the gas, pulls away by about a car length. Down into turn number 3, Hopkins tries to reel him back in. Meanwhile, Matt Winter is right there on the back bumper of last week's winner. Checkered flag is out. Matt Clement will take down the win. Michael Hopkins in for second, Devin Jensick for third, and Matt Winter to round out the top 4.
Gary Patnode will round out the top 5. Then it's Kyle Terrio in 6, Trinity Provost in the 7th spot in that 07, and Daryl Vertife rounding out the 8-car field.
Coming up next is our late model division. The distance will be again 8 laps. The number of cars to transfer in the handicap will be 6. There'll be 2 qualifying rounds. And the man that has had no luck at all this season is a former multiple champion here as well. He'll be starting at the point in the Meadow Motor Cars machine. Last week he lost an engine in practice. His dad, Barry Gray, owns the automobile. From Granby, Mass, car 97 for Adam Gray.
And add to it, his son Jacob had a first lap incident in his kart race here on Monday night, so hopefully the Gray family can shake that bad luck here this evening. Car number 92 goes second from East Longmeadow, Massachusetts. King Gray Coach Lines providing the sponsorship for Tom Fern.
Row number 2 to the inside, the Stirk Motorsports A6A Associates Tri-State Elevator Car. From Naugatuck, Connecticut, it is Bobby Stirk III.
Fourth starter, car number 87 from North Franklin, Connecticut, Mayday Oil to bring us Chris Meyer.
And one of the great veterans in this class, the Square Peg Pizzeria car. He was happy on the podium a week ago. From Stafford Springs, Connecticut, car number 4, Tommy Butler.
Car number 17 will go next from Milford, Connecticut, the Wayne's Auto Body Incorporated sponsored car for Wayne Corey.
Final row, it's one of Stu Fern's Safeco Foams car from Palmer, Massachusetts. He was a champion in his own right here at Stafford. Second time out this season, Josh Wood with car number 51.
Eighth starter, the 00 from Agawam, Massachusetts, the Northeastern Sheet Metal car for Kevin Cormier.
There you have it, our field of 8 cars ready to do battle. Field getting the 1-lap marker from the starter stand, the clench green flag and the yellow. Telling him to cross up.
We'll get the 1 to go signal next, or this time by. Green flag next time by. A lot of folks tuning in across the country already on this Friday night on FloRacing.
We welcome each and every one of them to
Woody
be a part of it.
Being one of them, he says hello.
Yes, he always does to us, and we are proud to have a lot of the veteran drivers. Of course, the Wheel and Modified Tour will be tomorrow at Riverhead Raceway, where some of those drivers will be attempting to try their talent as well. Here we go. Deep into turn number 3. Front row. This has been a rivalry for several years in this division. As they come off turn number 4, green flag comes out. And it is Gray by inches. But Tom Fern digs in hard on the outside. Joe Ham put a lot of these cars back together. Amazingly enough, Joe Ham did it all in less than a day and a half. But off turn number 4, it is Tom Fern. Looking as good as he has in the past. But Gray is there. And here comes Butler. Kyle back in the 5th spot. He made a bid down underneath Chris Meyer.
These are the top 2 cars in this heat race right now. Really completed a lap last week. Adam Gray lost an engine in practice. Was unable to start the feature. Tom Fern was involved in that lap 1 incident in turn number 3 and went behind the wall early on. Good race from 3rd on back with Stirk and Meyer. Little contact in turn 1. No harm, no foul. Stirk hangs on to 3rd. Meyer in 4th. But then you mentioned Tom Butler. Turbo Tom running in 5th in that green number 4.
Kind of like days of old when you got Butler and right behind him Josh Wood and Wayne Corey. They were some of the big standouts in years past here. Out in front, Tom Fern setting a blistering pace. as the lead car, 21.718.712 over Adam Gray. And that is a commanding lead with half of the event all but over.
4 down, 4 to go. Fern pulling away at the point. Then it's Gray and Sturck in third, and he has his hands full with Chris Meyer in the 4th spot, that green and white number 87. Then the bright green number 4 of Tom Butler rounding out the top 5. Bit of a gap back to the 6th spot between Josh Wood and Wayne Corey, who is in the second car that family has. His dad has driven that car the last couple of years on a part-time basis in that car here tonight after being involved in one of the incidents a week ago in this division. And right now it makes the move to the inside of Wood for 6.
That is an important position because 6 cars will be in the handicap to start up front. All of a sudden, Corey moves to the inside, forcing Josh Wood back a position. Meanwhile, Gray's car suddenly became evil in turn number 2. They worked their magic down to turn 3. White flag is out, no surrendering in the battle for second on back. Gray's car a little bit loose coming off the turn. Sturck is running in his tire tracks as he heads to the bottom of turn 2.
Into the final lap we go, and it is Tom Fern at the point, up the back straightaway for the final time. You're watching the battle from second on back with Adam Gray and Bobby Sturck. Here's Sturck to the inside of Gray for second, about 7 or 8 car lengths behind Tom Fern, who will lead back to the line. Gray not about to give up that second spot and hangs on to it over Bobby Sturck and Chris Meyer in 4th.
And finishing in the 5th spot was Tommy Butler. Wayne Corey will be the final transfer in the handicap in 6th. Josh Wood will finish in 7th, and Kevin Cormier will round out the field. Just a sample of what you can expect out of this late model division. Sturck and Gray, a little bit of a nudge to each other, rubbing elbows, as they say. But for the main event, we'll see what happens there. Car number 12 will be starting on the inside of the front row. And what an amazing move she put last week as she made a bid to take over the spot and the lead. But after that, misfortune would strike. But Alexander Fern will be starting on the inside of the front row. The Safeco Foams Stu Fern car from Hamden, Mass.
And caught up in that lap 1 wreck a week ago. Outside pole sitter, car number 20 from Morris, Connecticut, the Litchfield County Marine sponsored car for PJ Zarella.
Let's go back to the second row, car number 43, Days Cannabis from Chicopee, Massachusetts, car 43, Andrew Duran.
And then it's going to be car number 40 to his outside from right here in Stafford Springs, the American Sleeve Bearing sponsored car for Al Saunders.
The Saunders twins looked very racy a week ago. Starting back in the 5th position, it's Cliff Saunders in the Rose Brothers Garage Machine.
Runner-up finisher a week ago. We'll start from the 6th spot. Car number 39 from Berlin, Connecticut. Tavern on the Tracks to bring us Paul Verrecchio Jr.
Here's the champion, one of the good guys, the Lavigny Law Machine. From Ellington, Connecticut, car 23, Kevin Gambacorta.
And rounding out the 8-car field, it's the 07 from Belchertown, Massachusetts, the Tom O'Sullivan welding car for Chris Buffoni.
So there you have it, as the field is about ready to get the green. Coming up next will be our final group of qualifying. This will be the SK Modified Division. 3 qualifying rounds for the fastest division of the night. For those of you watching on Flow, welcome aboard to this evening's presentation. You're looking at the late model division. Alexander Fern's number 12, and right there to the outside, the number 20 of PJ Zarella. Great night for racing. We hope you're enjoying the presentation. We remind you, if you're watching on Flow, it's great to see it on Flow, but even better to come here and see it live on Friday night competition. We'd love to see you joining us. Here's Kyle Rickey as the field is about to go green.
Here they come off of turn number 4. Alexander Fern, car number 12 to lead the field onto the front straightaway, and nearly contact with Zarella. Everybody's okay, and Fern will bring him to turn 1 for the first time. Andrew Durand will move up to the 2nd spot. A couple of former limited late model champions 1st and 2nd. And here comes Cliff Saunders from mid-pack to challenge for the runner-up position in turn 3.
He's not the only guy coming from the mid-pack. It is Gambacorta, showing why he is a champion in this division. Gambacorta runs directly behind the 14 machine of Cliff Saunders. Saunders trying to hold on to the spot, but with Gambacorta there, that red machine, and directly behind him is Bafumi with car number 07. Remember, the O'Sullivan family have run late models for a lot of years, and they were able to get the job done. That's a Tom Rosati look-alike car, blue and white. You see it in the mid-pack of cars as they work their magic down the back stretch. Andrew Duran is starting to close in on the 12 of Alexander Fern.
Alex Fern hangs on to the top spot for now, completing lap number 3 in this heat race, but Duran all but glued to her as they go to turn number 1 in a race for the top spot. And it's going to be the 14 of Cliff Saunders, Kevin Gambacorta, last week's winner in 4th, challenge for the top spot in 3.
Andrew Duran dives in at a ton. Alexander Fern digging in hard in the outside at the stripe, at the halfway. It is Andrew Duran, the brand new leader. Now sticking his nose in, car number 14, Cliff Saunders, part of the Saunders twins. They were very successful in the streets, successful in the limiteds, and now making their marks in the late models.
I've had good runs here in their return to the Speedway in the opening couple feature events of the season, and right now you can move Cliff up to 2nd. Fern in that outside lane having a tough time keeping the speed up, and it's going to lose a couple of more spots as Gambacorta goes to the inside along with Paul Verrecchio in 4th.
Paul Verrecchio, in a pre-race interview, he talked about this car and how his season has been going. Meanwhile, car number 40 works its way, Al Saunders, into the top 5. That bumps back Alexander Fern. She is in the final transfer handicap spot. It is crucial for her. With a bad run a week ago, she wants to start up front. She's got to try to hold on. Less than a half a mile. Keep your eyes on that battle for that final transfer position.
Into the final lap they go, up the back straightaway, off the corner. Durant at the point. Saunders in 2nd. Gambacorta 3rd. Fern hangs on to that 6th and final handicap spot for now. In car number 12, checkered flag is up as they come back off of the corner. Andrew Duran will win qualifying race number 2 for the late models.
And it'll be Cliff Saunders to turn an impressive run with the 14 for 2nd. Kevin Gambacorta, defending champion, is for 3rd. Paul Verrecchio will finish in position number 4. Rounding out the top 5 positions will be, well, it looks like in our 5th position, it looks like Verrecchio unofficially. Following that will be the other Saunders car as we are ready to bring out the 2nd qualifying event. Kyle?
Then it was Alex Fern rounding out the top 6. Buffoni and Zarella rounding out the field in the 07 and the 20. And I think that's it for the late models as they'll make their way back to the pit area. The SK Modifieds are scheduled up next. 3 heats, 30 cars on hand here tonight. So it's going to be a great field of competitors. And what an amazing race a week ago with Corey DiMatteo getting to Napa Victory Lane, holding off Mike Christopher Jr. Great race last week, looking to top it. It's going to be tough to do, but looking to top it here tonight.
It is the fastest division of the night. Rumbles onto the racetrack, and starting at the point is car number 96, the Brainerd Motorsports machine from Canton, Connecticut. One of the all-time great veterans, it is Kurt Brainerd.
Outside of the front row, car number 99 from North Haven, Connecticut, the JG Poulin Racing entry for Tyler Himes.
Next, we move to car number 5 from Millville, Mass., the RJ's Plumbing and Heating car. Ladies and gentlemen, it is car number 5, last year feature event winner, RJ Marcotte.
4th starter, car number 76, the Bowles Chrysler Dodge Jeep sponsored car for Austin Beers.
So he goes back to the inside. Keep your eyes on the Monaco Ford DP Motorsports car from Stafford Springs, Connecticut, David Aruch.
6th starter, car number 33 from Wolcott, Connecticut, the Jarvis Brothers roofing car for Michael Jarvis Jr.
7th starting spot, car number 14, the Chapman Apartment Homes, My Three Sons racing car from Ellington, Connecticut, Stephen Chapman.
8th starter, car number 3, opening day winner from Oxford, Massachusetts, Casella Waste Systems to bring us Troy Talman.
And then in the final row, in the 9th starting position, car number 12, the Caruso racing car from Windsor, Connecticut, Artie Caruso.
10th starter, car 51 31 from Canterbury, Connecticut, the Dioge Millwright and Machinery entry for Ethan DeRozier.
8 laps, 5 cars to make the transfer. Here they come, rumbling underneath the tie rods. Club night, Tower, as the green flag is out. And guess what? It's not going to happen. Everybody a little bit too rambunctious. Going to tighten it all back up. And inside of that front row.
That is Tyler Hines. It looks like Kurt Brainerd will start this one at the tail end of the field in the 96 after being scheduled to start on the front row. Hines will move to the inside of Marcotte. We'll try it again. Take 2 on Heat Race 1 for the SK Modifieds.
Well, there's no question about it. Car number 99. Tyler Hines looked racy in the John G. Poulin Drywell car. Side by side, here comes Austin Beers. He traveled 3.5 hours to race here at Stafford in the Bulls number 76 car from Northampton, Pennsylvania. And Austin Beers shows why he has become a standout on the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour. Back in second, look at the battle there. Marcotte dropped back several positions, but already working his magic is Stephen Chapman with car number 14.
Been a good early season for Stephen Chapman, up to the second spot in car number 14. Talman is up to third in the 3. Hines struggling in that outside lane, will lose another spot to the inside. That's Jarvis to the bottom in turn number 4 as they single out, race for seconds, the best on the speedway. Talman looking to the inside of Chapman, but can't make a move. All a couple of car lengths behind Austin Beers, the race leader.
Look at Chapman in second. We'll shift things back up there. Talman dives to the inside. Talman has already shown his muscle this season, and Talman will take over the runner-up spot. Chapman literally puts the chrome horn right across the I-beam bumper, and that is the bid for second. Behind him, Michael Jervis, Mr. Consistency. Tyler Hines back in the 5th spot. Needs to stay there if he's going to start up front. Marcotte is behind them.
Hines a bit out of shape, but hangs on to the 5th position for now. Marcotte had an incredible save on the first lap, lost a few positions, gathered it back and runs in 6th, just in front of Ethan DeRozier and David Arute in car number 75, who had the fastest lap of anybody last time by, but still mired deep in traffic, well outside of the top 5 in the 8th spot.
Amazingly enough, back up front, Talbot is still trying to shake off. The white flag is out. Stephen Chapman, who once had second, is not happy with that 3rd position. And directly behind him, Michael Jervis. White flag is out, 1 lap to go.
And it is Austin Beers out front, took the lead early on. Beers leads off turn 2 and up the back straightaway. Talman in 2nd, Chapman right there in 3rd. He had the fastest lap last time by of the event as they come off turn 4 looking for the checkered.
Checkered flag is out. Austin Beers to take down the win. Troy Talman to finish in 2nd. Stephen Chapman for 3rd. Michael Jervis to finish in 4th. Tyler Hines for 5.
R.J. Marcotte finished in the 6th spot. Then it was Ethan DeRozier, David Arute, Kurt Brainerd, and Art Caruso rounding out the 10 cars.
Coming up next is our 2nd qualifying round for the SK Modifieds, and starting at the point will be the number 25 machine, and that of course is the Fowler Auto Wrecking car from East Hampton, Connecticut, for Anthony Flannery.
Outside of the front row, car number 23 from right here in Stafford, the preschool of the Arts entry for Wesley Prucker.
Row number 2 to the inside, Mid-State Site Development Wheel and Engineering, number 31 from Canton, Connecticut, Noah Corner.
Car number 28 goes to the outside of row number 2 from Danbury, Connecticut, the Lou Delizio Auto Body car for Teddy Hodgson.
Row number 3 to the inside, the Belliheggy Farms machine from Hamden, Massachusetts, car 24, Mikey Flynn.
6th starter, car number 85 from Shelton, Connecticut, Petty Cash Motorsports to bring us Andrew Mohler.
And what a run this young man had last week. The New England Turf Eastport Feeds PT Watts machine. From Walcott, Connecticut, car 82, Michael Christopher Jr.
8th starter car number 91. Been a while since we've seen this driver on the racetrack. From Brighton, New Jersey, the J.G. Poulin Racing entry for Frank Rocco.
Final row inside, car number 62, the Mitsubishi electric heating and cooling car. From Southbridge, Mass., Cody Rose.
And rounding out the 10-car field, the number 21 from Danbury, Connecticut, Lasco Roofing and Sheet Metal, the entry for George Bissett Jr. As the field comes off of turn number 4, we'd like to thank everybody that has watched on Facebook Live and our live YouTube stream of the opening of this event. From here on out, the rest of the heat races and tonight's features can be seen exclusively on FloRacing.
So it looks like this second qualifying round pretty well stacked. As we said before, we're glad to see Frank Rocco back in the competition. He was a major player